What's up, everybody? What's good? What's happening? Welcome to the Sports Bar here at WTF Nation Radio. I am the actual King Smith, and after being off for a week, I am back live January 21st, 2026. This has been a really good start of the month in January for sports. These months, as we're getting into the sports season, it makes me happy, but it makes me sad at the same time because as we're getting into the college football playoff, into the NFL wrap up season, basketball is underway full swing, right? There's still that lull for a lot of the major sports, at least that I like here in the U.S. Internationally, right? There's still some things that's going to be kicked off. We got the Olympics and things this year. So it's kind of a happy thing because you get the excitement of playoff football around this time of the year, but you lose things past January when football ends. Now, I'm not the only host that comes out here and does this, as I have the man behind the fence, the Army veteran, affectionately known as Coach. Coach, let people know something.
Yo, what do you hear? What do you say, ladies and gentlemen? Hope you're doing all right tonight. Yeah, got a little screwed up over there on my thing. I just had to clean that. But anyway, hope you all are doing all right. Hey, King, I kind of do feel that doldrum as well because there is no news whatsoever happening, man. It's just football. Now college football's done. People are going to be trying to Google. The closest thing anybody's going to be Googling to college football is going to be a Bella Danger. That's about the only thing that they're going to be Googling. Then on top of that, we're going to be worrying about the damn transfer portal, which has screwed up more things with college football. And the NFL's coming to the end. The NBA, heck, the only thing that's exciting right now about the NBA is LeBron not getting the starting All-Star bid for the first time in 22 years. Really don't quite care about anything else in NHL until the playoffs happen. In baseball, well, they're about to be playing their last year before their nuclear winter. So you got a good point, man. There is a lull right here in the sports, and thank God we don't have to report on the fucking WNBA.
There might, if you know me, Coach, there might be some W before we sign off today. We'll see. We shall see.
Here's the news. People don't realize that people think that they are a lot more worth a lot more than they really are. There's the breaking news. Happens every day.
Now, let me ask you this. So we finished up our fantasy football. We got out the Amazon gift card. Did you get out the shoes yet?
No, I have not gotten out the shoes just yet, and there was a reason for that. I was waiting on my next paycheck. So I do apologize about that, but I will be sending those shoes out. I do have them. I am waiting on for the first of the month. Yes, even Coach is going month by month on the paycheck. So I have to wait until the first of the month in order to pay for it. Part of that is also due that my strict budget that I have for discretionary spending was also taken up by buying my son a New York Jets jersey. So I apologize about that. I have not sent out Jessica's her name, right?
Yes. No. Yeah. Wow.
Can't remember her name. Yeah. So I'm waiting until the first of the month.
Robin.
Sorry, Robin.
Apologies, Robin.
Yes, Robin, it will be sent out. It will be sent out on the first of the month. I will be paying for them, and it will be the pair that we have looked at. There's a multicolor pair, the second pair that was sent out in a size 8. I will be getting them sent out to you as soon as possible.
Let me back this up a second. Did you say you bought your son a Jets jersey?
I'll go run and grab it real quick, and I'm pretty sure that if I show it on air, you'll understand why. Yeah, I did buy him a Jets jersey. He wants to go to a Jets game again, and the only acceptable thing I could do is to get him somebody who was at least half decent. And seeing that there is nobody on the Jets half decent, and you can't get a Jets jersey for any quarterback because the moment you do, they end up getting injured or they fall off the face of the earth. So I got him a Darrelle Revis jersey.
Hey, Revis Island. Okay,
there you go.
Are going to get a Jets jersey.
See, I had to be correct. I got to get him something of somebody that just like, somebody at least that has name recognition because the Jets don't have – I can't even tell you who the quarterback will be next year. Nobody does. nobody cares about the quarterback next year because the year afterwards they're going to end up drafting another quarterback who will end up going bust, and then you'll have some other kid will have a damn poor jersey of this kid of wherever the hell it is. Just like I've had a Chad Pennington jersey or Sam Darnold jersey, a freaking Mark Sanchez jersey, a Geno Smith jersey, a Brady Coyle jersey, a Christian Hackenberg jersey, and definitely a Zach Wilson jersey. Yeah, you see where I'm coming from? All of these damn jerseys, and the Jets have made absolutely zero worth. It's not like showing up with the number 56 in the New York Giants jersey, or God forbid, there's not many people that are clamoring even to wear Joe Flacco Baltimore Ravens jersey or a Trent Dilfer jersey.
And
but they will wear a Ray
quarterback.
Lewis jersey even if they're pretty shitty. They will wear a New Year an LT jersey if they're pretty shitty. And with the Jets always being shitty, it's always good to go with the great Hall of Fame players. That's why I got him a Revis jersey.
No doubt. Shout out to Keith Miller's in the building. Said, "What up, fellas? What up, Keith?
What's up,
Give you a salute." And a little birdie said, "I'm gonna be seeing you sometime here soon in 2026. If that's true, man, that'll be dope, man. It'll be good to catch up with you, boss man."
Oh, Mrs. Coach just brought Coach dinner.
Oh, hey, shout out to Mrs. Coach in the building.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thanks, Mrs. Coach. I know she can't hear me. All right. We've got a couple of things that we're going to be talking about today. Who's your daddy? We're going to be covering a quick recap of the NCAA football championship game. We've got more NFL playoff news and updates. David Beckham, the legend, his son pulled back the veil and went nuclear on Instagram. We're going to talk about what went down that made Sir Beckham's legacy shine a little bit less dim on his family. We've also got more involving the long, drawn-out Tyreek Hill divorce with his soon Kita. Kyle Tucker went out here and got the bag for the LA Dodgers, as the LA Dodgers are out here shelling money and trying to buy their way to some victory. We're also going to talk about Portal Combat. I'll say one of the entertaining thing that is coming out of sports in college football is what's happening with the college portal and where are these players going and why are they going places. There's been some stories of a $10 million quarterback that's out there. Another story of a guy who's getting blocked because of the NIL deal that he signed and not basically trying not to be allowed to transfer, and so much more. Adage Ovechkin, the great 8, has hit another milestone, and we're going to talk about that. Famous fighter Suga Sean O'Malley still got some stuff left in the tank and is on a fight card where the undercard is just not that strong, but at least, hey, he's going to be a draw. And I think that's where we're going to end today. So before we do, shout out to CC Smith. That is tu madre. She is in the building. Want to give a hey to her as well. So, Coach, you can finish eating because I'm going to go right into this recap.
I was going to say hi to your ma, but all right, not a problem.
All right. First things up, who's your daddy? Right? In a game that had more twists than a pretzel at Oktoberfest, the Indiana Hoosiers popped in a Hard Rock Stadium and basically said, Miami, who's your daddy? Because I'm here. Before rolling on and going into a 27-21 national championship victory over the Hurricanes, giving Indiana its first ever college football playoff title and capping an insane, perfect 16-0 season. Here are some of the highlights. Early in the first half of the game, Indiana blocked a punt that later turned into a touchdown because, let's just get this party started early. Miami turned some things around in the second half after being goosed in the first half. I want to say it was 10-0 in the first half. And with Miami having rallied, Indiana said, we're too good. Every time Miami ended up making a play, the Hoosiers also end up making a play as well. And the second half was a very scintillating, very exciting second half of a college football playoff that didn't look good early on for the Hurricanes. But the final nail in the coffin, after the Hurricanes was able to hold the Hoosiers to a field goal to only be down 6 with under a minute left, there was a clutch interception that came in to seal the deal, and boom, Coach Cignetti is finally happy. I saw something on Twitter that I wasn't able to get prep for here, in which Coach Cignetti's daughter had shared a text message thread between her and her dad, in which he talked about how when he was at JMU, they had done all of these things, won the playoff, helped turn JMU's program around. And she asked her father, is he happy? And he just wrote, no. That's it. In true stern Cignetti fashion. So it was found from 2019 to where there was a follow-up. Is Coach Cignetti finally happy after being at Indiana for 2 years, putting the program on the map, winning the college football playoffs with 0 5-star recruits on that title? Because that's what they always want to say. We put this together with no big names, yada yada. And she said, "Hey, Dad," because she don't call him Coach, Dad. Social media wants to know, are you happy now that you won? And he finally gave the answer, and he put yes. I thought that was a real good callback to something that was posted online from 5 years ago, or over 5 years ago, because y'all know once something goes online, it's out there. So huge congrats to the Indiana Hoosiers. Fernando Let's Go Mendoza led the charge, Heisman Trophy winner. The kid gives the most hallmark post-game conferences ever. He's always thanking God. He's never talking bad about the other team. The part that did make me excited and happy that he said it was he said that Miami did not recruit him. He tried to go there as a walk-on, and Miami did not recruit him. So it was nice to be able to go to their field, their city, play against the Miami Hurricanes, and hand them that L. Coach, what would you like to add for that recap?
So another hats off to the Indiana Hoosiers. I also like it when certain records get broken, and one that has not been mentioned is this: the 2026 Indiana Hoosiers, 2025-2026 Indiana Hoosiers went 16-0, becoming the first NCAA team since Penn in 1894 to win 16 games in a season. Now, remember how I kept saying, who's got the most national championships in, history? And I fooled everybody because like Yale or one of the Ivy League schools had it from like the 1800s.
Mm-hmm.
In the modern times, the record was actually 15, and that was by the 2019 national championship team with at Clemson. Okay. So 15. Now it is up to 16. 16-0. They technically had the best perfect season, and the best perfect season since 2007, 2008 with the Patriots. But that is a record that Kirk Stagnetti has gotten, is that his Indiana team won 16 games. No other team in over 100 years has ever done that in college football. So hats off to them there. I mentioned, hey, look, I'm just going to say something. Somebody still owes 10 push-ups.
Oh, snap. Yes, I do. Y'all need
somebody a couple weeks ago said that, this Indiana team's on a magic run, kind of like old boy at when Auburn was there with Mr. What's his name? Damn, he was on the freaking Carolina Panthers. I can't remember his name. Cam Newton. That's what, when I was just saying I had that feeling. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
You know what? They did it. And man, seeing Michael Irvin all coked up on the sideline, man, that's what college football is all about.
I wanted to play the video, but with the music, I knew we'd get zucked. So I couldn't do it.
Yeah, that's a good point.
I could not do it. I thought about still playing it anyway and just muting it, but
I mean, look, we got, we could pay like less than 30 seconds. Isn't that what's acceptable use?
I'm not entirely sure these days because I've played some that have been 15 seconds.
I remember, I think in radio they have like 30 seconds to play or something, and then they owe then they owe like money to the thing, because if they play more than 30 seconds, it's a song. Even on like AM radio is actually not regulated by that, but FM radio, if they play 30 seconds of that song, they'd have to like pay royalties to it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Let me bring up something real quick.
Yeah,
I want to see if I could.
About that.
There's one specific highlight that I saw, and I wish I would have saved it. There was a clip of Mendoza when he was at JMU getting blasted by a defensive player a couple of years ago, and then like having a hard time just to then on that same crucial 4th and 5th conversion that he had to get hit by that same player, but this time he ended up scoring. I thought that was
another thing about Mendoza, man, he got knocked around pretty hard by Miami in the first half. He came out and he still, bloody mouth and all, came out and was playing with that team and playing with some toughness. It might not have been his best game, but he showed the toughness that an NFL quarterback's going to need. He didn't look. I don't think he's going to be tepid when he's drafted and behind that terrible offensive line in Oakland. He's going to need to be as tough as he was in the national championship.
Man, absolutely, 100%, and it sucks. I'm wondering if he should pull an Eli Manning. I wonder if he should pull an Eli Manning so that he doesn't just get ruined at the next level, being drafted on a horrible team.
Yeah, okay. So, again, this goes down to the development of the college quarterback and how teams are actually developing them. Let's be honest. When's the last time we heard of anybody, getting developed as a quarterback by the Raiders? Derek Carr, they threw him to the firing pan. Jamarcus Russell threw him into the firing pan. Before that, they never really developed their own quarterbacks. It was always take somebody or get a trade for somebody and try to resurrect someone like Rich Gannon or somebody like that.
Yeah.
They're going to have a chance to develop a number one, and this guy isn't a can't miss. Jamarcus Russell was a miss because nobody had him and thought of him as a pro-level quarterback outside of the Oakland Raiders. But like I'm saying, that organization has to develop them. They have to get an offensive line. And I'm not sure if you saw Vegas as much as, I did this year, but I noticed this after it was pointed out to me by the Sports Pope that Ashawn Gentry actually had a pretty damn decent season, but it's so hard to see how many yards he got after first contact because by the time the ball was handed off to him, the defense was already in the backfield. That O-line is absolutely terrible. And yeah, that's what they need to address with after picking Mendoza. Pick everybody you can on the offensive line. Get a fucking 500-pound guy who, just farts, and you have to get around him, and you have to get around his huge ass in order to get to the quarterback. Get like one of them and try to develop him. I don't freaking care what you got to do, but if you got to protect this guy, you need your offensive line. Forget every other position. Forget everything else. Get an offensive line and protect the quarterback. That is the most dire need that LA needs to do, including getting the best quarterback that's going to be available. Well, in this draft next year might be a different,
Yep. Now, my producer actually corrected me on something here. I said that he was at JMU. No, Coach Signetti was at JMU.
Signetti was at JMU. Yeah,
that was a slip up on my part. Fernando was at Cal. Now, watch this right here. This is last year's game of Cal versus Miami. Watch Fernando get blasted by a safety here. I'm going to bring it up on the screen, and then we're going to come back and see how he was able to get his revenge. Let me see. Let me play this.
There's a throw. Fernando takes off, and he gets a big hit. There is Basaint. Went right after him, and Mendoza. He's going to take off Mendoza. Weaves his way. Still goes diving for the end zone.
Definitely was a hype play. I know it got me crunk when I saw that. I stood up and I was like, that's how you play football.
Yeah, I got to agree with you on that, man. That was some baller moves. This guy, he's going to be good in the NFL. Whether it's being great, that's up to the organization, but he has a chance to be real great. And looking forward to seeing him play on Sundays.
Same here. Shout out to God Happened to Me's in the building, said, good evening. That is my boo thing. Always showing me love and support. So I appreciate you tuning in as well. For those of y'all wondering, like, man, why are they vertical on every platform? So we're doing something a little bit different today. This is something that Coach introduced last week that I said, well, since I wasn't here last week, let me run it and see how it works out for us this week. So that's why you got us vertical up and down here. Next week, we should be able to be both vertical and horizontal if I'm able to do some things right here. So, because we're looking to do some big things here in 2026 at WTF Nation Radio.
So chances are we're most likely going to end up just being, one orientation. We're asking you to do something right now.
I talk a lot.
Sorry, man. Sorry.
I talk a lot, but action sometimes is not my strongest suit. But we shall see.
It's all good.
Now, let's get to the NFL playoffs here. Going into the NFL playoffs, man, let me tell y'all, I don't know what y'all think about this current season. With the teams that are playing in their respective conference championship games, I don't think I saw this playing out the way that it's playing out. No. So you have the Denver Broncos went and played the Buffalo Bills, and Denver came out on top 33-30. Now, it was probably what I would say was the game of this past weekend as the Broncos survived a Josh Allen-led comeback. But the victory in Denver came at a massive cost. Bo Nix, who was having an amazing season, some people talking about was up there in the MVP conversations with Drake May, but it's going to be Drake May that wins. Bo Nix suffered a season-ending broken ankle in the win on one of the flukiest type runs right there at the end of the game as Denver was trying to get into position to kick the game-winning field goal. So while Will Lutz nailed the 23-yard winner, the story in Denver is about who's going to be the starting quarterback that's going to play in the conference championship game. Do you even know who their backup quarterback was before it was announced?
I had heard the guy once, but it was kind of like in the same vein as how I heard who the backup quarterback was for the Seattle Seahawks after they, Sam Darnold went down with an injury. I honest to God, I had heard of him once, and I don't even remember his name right now.
Yeah, so it's Jarrett Stidham.
Stidham.
Jarrett Stidham. There were so many people and memes that came out of it that was like, well, the Broncos season is done. Several people was like, hey, tell Peyton Manning to suit his ass up.
Hey, if I got to, look, Phillip Rivers just, kind of like defied a whole bunch of reality. Now, granted, let's also bring this part up that Phillip Rivers also went winless the entire time that he was there. So, while he could have done something and he could have been there, and yeah, there is really no other option that you had, unfortunately, and that does kind of suck, but that's the reason why you signed a backup quarterback and have them ready for the playoffs. Every playoff team has to worry about that, and if you don't have trust in your backup quarterback, well, you shouldn't have trust in any of the teams. Here's my thing. If you remember at the season, who was the one that came in San Francisco after Purdy got injured?
Couldn't tell you.
I want to say it wasn't Garoppolo, it wasn't Lance, but whoever it was, they had to know that he was coming into that game, and then they gave him the confidence. He almost got him there. Hey, look, any given Sunday, anything can happen, but yeah, Drake May is now going to become the fourth Patriots quarterback to lead the team to a Super Bowl. Only 100%. One's been successful so far.
Yep. So speaking of rolling right into the other AFC game that was played, the New England Patriots just manhandled the Houston Texans, which still found a way to be in that game, even after Houston CJ Stroud threw 5 picks and had 1 fumble, 5 total turnovers. They made CJ Stroud look like an absolute Ricky out there and slowed down what was kind of a magical season for the Houston Texans. Drake May threw for 3 touchdown passes, including a beautiful one-handed pass to Kayshon Boutte. And the Patriots are returning back to their first AFC title game against the Denver Broncos since 2018.
Yeah. And you know how, like I said, I already saw them play this year. I can tell you Drake May, between him and Stafford, I believe would be the MVP, even though Nick's can deserve consideration. But I can tell you, it was when I made the comment after that game that because I think before that was the Bills game. Am I correct?
Yep.
Saturday. Yeah. So that was football weather. And it was beautiful football weather on Saturday. Everybody was cold. Everybody was miserable. Even if you look at May, he tossed for 3 touchdowns, but he only had 172 yards in the air. It was a ground game. It was a sloppy game. And it was where your talent and your smarts and your protection of the ball came through in all of these games. And that was the epitome of that. CJ Stroud. Hate to be the guy to break it to you, but you're going to have to get over a hump, my man. You're going to have to get over a big hump because it seems that you have hit a plateau from the last time you were eliminated in the playoffs all the way up until now. I have not seen any improvement from him. And in order for them to be more successful, he has to improve as a quarterback. I hope he has not hit his ceiling, and this is what he is. CJ Stroud does need massive improvement in the offseason.
I'm going to add this to this AFC Championship game. I think everybody is happy that game this Sunday, which the AFC Championship's at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time Zone this upcoming Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
I think everybody's happy that it's played in Denver versus New England because I just looked. It is going to be 4 degrees is the high on Sunday with snow.
Yep.
4 degrees with a low of 2. You talking about a 2-degree difference.
That's football weather, my man.
The hell no. What's the coldest game that you've ever played in?
Oh, that I ever played in?
Uh-huh.
All right. So I would all right. In fact, I was bringing this up because this actually showed up in my memory. Oh God, it was a pickup game. We were effing around in front of our barracks in 2000. The snow had come down, and I'm talking. It was a massive amount of snow. And we just played a pickup game there for about a good hour and a half. Guy by the name of Ronnie Holiday tore his ACL in that game. I ended up getting into a fist fight with this dude, John Bennett. This guy was a fucking beast and piss off at absolutely everybody. He'd always wanted to fight everyone. But I swear to Christ, man, that was the coldest I've been out there. And, even in sweatpants and sweatshirts and shit, 30 degrees, that might have been the coldest, 30 to 28 degrees. Nothing where I'm in single digits playing the game. I do remember a game in Green Bay. I think it was the NFC Championship game, 2007, 2008 with Eli Manning and Brett Favre before he went to the Jets that season. That I believe that game had like a -11 or something like that. But in single digits, man, you are bone fucking cold at that point.
Yep. Now, the coldest that I ever played, high school, it was 35, but it was really windy that game. And I'm northeast Alabama. And with the wind, it was like 35 feels like 24.
Mm-hmm.
And man, like just as a running back, even just getting the handoff, and I was layered up, but you don't want to be too layered because you got to be able to feel the ball, and there's issues and things like that. If you're like, man, so I had to kind of underlayer myself around certain areas and then just keep my hands and stuff warmed up whenever I wasn't actively touching the football. And
one of the things I loved about, and I love seeing this in the NFL, especially during the playoff games, is to figure out who is going to be wearing a sweatshirt, who is going to be wearing sleeves, and who is going absolutely no sleeves to try to intimidate the shit out of everybody else. Like, all right, I think you know where I mean. Like,
yeah.
Okay. And I bring that game back up. Strahan and Tuck for the Giants. Both of them came out. None of them were wearing sleeves. They were going bare armed out there, and I was like, okay, they're trying to show who's tougher. Here's Eli and Favre. Both of them are in long sleeves and everything, and I understood that. But yeah, freaking just seeing the O lineman and the D lineman, showing up with no sleeves and just trying to bear it out. Yeah, that's freaking football right there. And then, we're going to go into Sunday, which was a second dose of, that's what football is right there in both of the games.
There is a mental component to it. I am not going to front. Like, there is a mental component to doing that psych out where you're out there like warming up right at the beginning with like no sleeves or no shirt with some people. And I'm like, hell no, that was never me.
I get it, man. I get it.
Now, moving over to the NFC, one game was just absolutely dominant over the other one. And as I bring up my notes here, give me 1 second. Where did my notes go? I might have to do this noteless.
No, with Seattle?
Yes. So in the Seattle game, where are my notes? Here we go. Goodness gracious. All right. So Seattle, San Francisco. It was a statement game. Point blank, period. When it started out, with a 95-yard kickoff return for a touchdown, I said, I think the 49ers got a problem. I can't believe that in that game where it was a battle of two West Coast teams, and you've got Christian McCaffrey, and all they put up are 2 field goals in that game, you had to wonder if San Francisco really wanted to be there or not. Nobody looked at that Seattle Seahawks team the entire year and went, that's an amazing defense. They had a solid team. Don't get me wrong. Statistically, they were in the top 10 on both sides of the football on offense and defense. A stat that nobody really talked about because they weren't really doing it flashy, but they were playing good team football. But to go in and have Kenneth Walker pound in 3 scores. You've got a special teams kickoff. They played swarming football in which they never let Brock Purdy breathe. The Seattle Seahawks made a statement to go to the championship game. That's really all I've got to add to that game. Do you have anything else, Coach?
Just real quick, and I'm going to bring something up about the East Coast bias. Okay, that's what I am going to call this, East Coast bias. The NFL does this. We know a lot about this as far as baseball and football and the other sports as well. In fact, remember I told you last year, I didn't watch a single OKC game because most of their games I saw were at 10 o'clock at night, and I'm watching something else. So, I mean, all I saw was SGA and his highlights, as far as what I've been seeing for them. When it came down to Seattle, I am going to say that the West Coast bias got the best of us. Unless you were watching the Red Zone channel, like I was, because I have absolutely zero life. If you were just watching the regular 4 o'clock broadcasts, you did not see much of Seattle unless they cut into that game towards the end of it. And at 14-3, there wasn't a lot of people taking them seriously. And I'm going to give a second part to this West Coast bias. There is a West Coast bias when it comes down to teams outside of California. And I'm mainly talking about the teams outside. I can even go even further. The teams in San Francisco or in Los Angeles. I'm talking both of the teams, the Chargers and the Rams. if you're one of those teams that are in the mountain time zone or the no time zone in Arizona or in the freaking Pacific time zone, you are playing second fiddle to the LA and the San Francisco teams too. Okay. And even Kansas City, we can go as far with that. With Kansas City being as great as they were taking up a lot of the 4 o'clock. And some of you West Texas people might even say Dallas was taking it up. But this Seattle team, nobody believed in them because nobody saw them. Okay. Nobody has been reporting on Sam Darnold. Everybody still believes Sam Darnold, and gratefully so. This is his 8th year in the season, and now he's finally getting into an NFC championship game. But they still remember him for the 4 terrible years with the Jets and then the meandering years that he had before he went and put up 14 wins last season in Minnesota. And then, they didn't re-sign him and they just, got casted off to Seattle. So yeah, there's a lot of things that Seattle does really well together, and they needed every bit of it. They needed a good defense. They needed something in the air, and Sam Darnold just gave them something, and so did Smith. I don't want to mispronounce the last part of his name. That guy. The defense gave it to him. The special teams gave it to him. And that's where I'm coming from, is that we have all slept on this team. This is a more complete team than we have given them credit for. And, them going to the AFC Championship game, in fact, hosting the AFC Championship game, Seattle has also one of the best home field advantages in the NFL, period. The 12th man, the way that the sound goes in there. I saw a video of a guy who is working in one of the, or is in an office that's like across the street from the stadium. He had like a corner view on the return for the touchdown, and I saw the building shake. That place gets loud. You could hear them through closed windows all the way across the damn highway. Yes, it's going to be very, very difficult to go into Seattle and try to get through the Super Bowl by beating the Seattle Seahawks.
Shout out to Richard Broncos in the building. Said, "What's up? How about those Pats? We are back again." Hey, Pats are back, baby. They are back. There is no denying that. They are playing some really good football over there. Now, the last team in the NFC that is going to represent and play in the NFC Championship game, I almost felt bad for the Bears and Caleb Williams, because on a frigid Soldier Field, Caleb Williams on what was one of the craziest, most stupidest throws you can ever see on a 4th down play that he somehow converted, actually kept the Bears in the game, but a late interception set up the Rams to win in overtime on a 42-yard walk-off field goal. Now, if that throw didn't get completed, people would have just been like, "Oh, Caleb Williams is, like, this is all he's going to be, yada, yada." But the fact that he was able to pull that pass off had everybody talking about him, but it was all in vain. And the Rams eked it out against the Chicago Bears. So the NFC Championship game is going to be the Seattle Seahawks versus the Rams in Seattle, in which Vegas odds has this one as the highest scoring matchup out of all of the conference championship games. They've got the Seahawks favorited to win by 2.5 points with a 47.5 total point spread between both teams, which I would put my money on Seattle in that game. And looking at the AFC Championship game, Vegas has the Patriots favored to win by 5 with a 41.5 point total in that game that's being played at Denver. So the away team gets the nod in the AFC, and the home team gets the nod in the NFC Championship game. And I agree with those odds.
And look, LA and Seattle, both of them are pretty similar, and they've battled it out twice this season. Third time's a charm out of between that. I do believe Seattle's on their way to the Super Bowl. Didn't think I would actually see Sam Darnold in a freaking Super Bowl. Yeah, Even when he was drafted by the Jets, I never thought that he was going to bring them to a Super Bowl. But Jesus Christ, it's awesome to see that. And if Stafford does pull this out, I would say it would have to take a brilliant game from Stafford and Nakua. And I've seen them have brilliant games, including what they had over during against the Bears. Seeing. I still believe Seattle's going to pull this one out. I do believe that, but there's a lot of similarities between these two teams, and it's going to have to go down to team play, or unless Stafford just takes over as the quarterback and carries the team over over the zone. That's the only way that's going to end up happening, is if Stafford pulls off, I'm not going to say a vintage Stafford game, but a Hall of Fame type game that Matthew Stafford is capable of doing. That's what's going to be necessary for the Rams to get to the Super Bowl. Seattle, play your game. Sam Darnold, do not become a New York Jet again. Okay, that's all I'm going to tell you. And you'll get to the Super Bowl. Manage the team. He is the epitome right now of what I was talking about with some of these game manager quarterbacks that we've had that made it to the Super Bowl and were successful and have done certain things. At this point in time, Sam, you got to figure something out. You're not the MVP of that team, but play your role and play it well, and you'll get to the Super Bowl.
Man, all right. Hey, Richard, my bad, bro. Charge it to my head and not my heart. He called me by my old government name because I jacked up his name. And I realized it after I said it, but Coach was talking and I didn't want to interrupt him. My bad, brother. I'm sorry. Goodness gracious. Charge it to my head and not my heart, man. I realized it after I said it, bro. My bad. Is that good enough for you? Next up here, David Beckham. This is what I would call rich white people problems. And I can't put that's not going to show over the comments. I don't like how that looks. So I'm just going to take that off the screen. David Beckham's son, Brooklyn, went nuclear online, in which he shared a series of posts slamming both of his parents on his Instagram stories the other day. Brooklyn has accused his dad and mom, Victoria, of trying to sabotage his relationship with his wife and claimed that they've done nothing but spread countless lies. So I'm going to bring up on the screen here what was said and let y'all take a look. Now, I'm going to read a little bit of it, and y'all chime in and tell me what y'all think. He straight up said, "I do not want to reconcile with my family. I'm not being controlled. I'm standing up for myself for the first time in my life." And he followed it up and said, "I've been silent for years and made every effort to keep these matters private. Unfortunately, my parents and their team have continued to go to the press, leaving me with no choice but to speak for myself and tell the truth about some of the lies that have been printed. For my entire life, my parents have controlled narratives in the press about our family, the performative social media posts, family events, and inauthentic relationships have been a fixture of the life I was born into. Recently, I've seen with my own eyes the lengths that they will go through to place countless lies in the media, mostly at the expense of innocent people, to preserve their own facade. But I believe the truth always comes out. My parents have been trying endlessly to ruin my relationship since before my wedding, and it hasn't stopped. My mom," and he spelled mom, "canceled making his wife's dress in the 11th hour, despite how excited she was to wear the design, forcing her to urgently find a new dress. Weeks before our big day, my parents repeatedly pressured and attempted to bribe me into signing away the rights to my name, which would have affected me, my wife, and our future children. They were adamant on me signing before my wedding date because the terms of the deal would be initiated. My holdout affected the payday, and they have never treated me the same since. During the wedding planning, my mom went so far as to call me evil because my wife and I chose to include my nanny Sandra." Sorry, I didn't mean to laugh. "And Nicholas Nani," which I guess that might be an aunt or grandma. I'm not sure. at our table because they both didn't have their husbands. Both of our parents had their own tables equally adjacent to ours. The night before our wedding, members of my family told me that Nikolai was not blood and not family. Since the moment I started standing up for myself with my family, I've received endless attacks from my parents, both privately and publicly, that were sent to the press on their orders. Even my brothers were sent to attack me on social media before they ultimately blocked me out of nowhere this past summer. My mom hijacked my first dance with my wife, which had been planned weeks in advance, to a romantic love song in front of our 500 wedding guests. Mark Anthony called me to the stage, where in the schedule was planned to be my romantic dance with my wife, but instead my mom was waiting to dance with me. She danced very inappropriately on me in front of everywhere. Oh my goodness. I had never felt more uncomfortable or humiliated my entire life. We wanted to renew our vows so we could create our new memories on our wedding day that brings us joy and happiness, not anxiety and excitement. And he goes on to say some other stuff that's happened and writes, despite this, we still traveled to London for my dad's birthday and were rejected for a week as we waited in our hotel room trying to plan quality time with him. He refused all of our attempts unless it was at his big birthday party with hundreds of guests and cameras at every corner. When he finally agreed to see me, it was under the condition that his wife wasn't invited. It was a slap in the face. Later, when my family traveled to LA, they refused to see me at all. And he wraps it up with some other things that's saying that the narrative that his wife controls him is completely backwards. I've been controlled by my parents for most of my life, growing up with overwhelming anxiety. And for the first time in his life, he's going to step away from his family. And since he's done that, the anxiety has disappeared. And that he's waking up every morning grateful for the life that he chose. Now, the comment section went in.
Mm-hmm.
It went in. And people are saying things like this comment here: without mom and dad's money, he wouldn't be having Mark Anthony perform live at his wedding, much less an expensive wedding. Stop complaining about family drama publicly and deal with it privately. One person gave a public support for him and said, good for you. Now, this one was the one that got me. A man who stands by and supports his wife with a clapping hand. Well done, Brooklyn. You and your wife deserve to be happy, and if it's just two of you that have it, then so be it. And I thought that really was what Brooklyn is doing. If the family doesn't like her for whatever reason, Brooklyn has to be able to stand up for himself, and hopefully, because I don't know what she does, what her family background is, or anything like that. But Brooklyn then has to be able to step away from under his parents' shadow, so to speak, and be his own man. And that I get, that I understand. But I also didn't grow up with like a Walton, a Zuckerberg, a Rockefeller, any of these famous names around the globe where you might have certain expectations of you. Jordan, you've got Michael Jordan's son that is out here dating cougars and things.
And oh God, I got a story about him too.
So when I saw this and how very public it was, the first thing I said was rich people problems, right? Something that I'll never understand. No, I'm not going to say never. I hope to have rich people problems one day. Let me just say it that way. But I thought that it was interesting because I'm a sports fan. I know who David Beckham is, but I never heard a lot of negative, bad press about David Beckham. But it seems like things in his family aren't peaches and cream, and it started based on who his son chose to marry. So, what do you got, Coach?
I can empathize with the kid as far as, family type of drama and things like that. I want to say this, regardless of what situation they are in, family drama goes between all classes, okay? You could be dirt poor and somebody could be having that issue over here. I don't like you marrying that girl because that girl gave your grandpa's father herpes back in 1962 and she fucked her cousin's mother's son's blah, blah, blah. You can have wedding drama, on the Maury show, and you can have it at highbrow places. And look, it happens. I mean, and I'll be as blunt as I can. I think Victoria Beckham, with the level of superstar that she is more known to be. I'll say this: her time in her Spice Girls, and for all of the things that she seems to be the kind of person that would enjoy the spotlight more, and that nobody can have their bigger day than she would. That's the kind of person that I believe she has, because that's where I think her entire life has been. It's just like Jennifer Lopez, how she feels that she every day has to be her day. I feel that same sense with Victoria Beckham, and doing that in front of somebody who is, let's be as blunt as I can, motherhood type of thing. I think some mothers get jealous of the new person in their life and will do anything to sabotage it because it's not whom they approve. But you then have to realize that it's the family who approves. Or it's not your choice of whom they marry and who they approve. It's who they love. And if they love somebody, let them do that. I'll bring this one up. I'm pretty sure Magic Johnson isn't happy that his child that he has is now, with Cookie is now, transgender and, not doing that. I bet he's not happy, but he doesn't say anything about he's going to get him out of his life or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
But it doesn't surprise me that there's a lot of people that do stuff out in the public and are different in private. I don't know why Angelina Jolie kept adopting babies, and I don't know how she is as a mother. But if Brad Pitt had to leave her, because she's crazy or something like that, a lot of things just don't add up. I'm not going to say anything bad about all these Scientology people because I don't know what the hell they do when their time's away. But from what I understand about Scientology and all those actors and all those millionaires that are doing that, I'd rather just not associate myself with them. Much like how there are veterans that I would not associate myself with them because of the trouble that they cause. And that's just here in Fayetteville. But that being said, yeah, hey, Brooklyn dude, nobody's going to give you sympathy online. Okay. Yes, I get that. This is why social media to me, especially Instagram, Twitter, and these ones celebrities are on. It's why I don't interact with a lot of them. And I don't give a fuck about that because you are getting people to get on your side and have you justified for what you are doing. You're looking for approval from masses, and there's going to be people that are going to strictly judge you based off of, well, hey, you've got a silver spoon shoved up your ass, and I've got real problems. I can't afford to, put food on the table. Yet here you are bitching online about how mommy and daddy weren't great to you. My mommy and daddy beat the shit out of me. You're not going to get that type of sympathy, but you're also going to get a whole bunch of freaking, well, I'll call, lack of a better term, a bunch of sheep who will have empathy for you because of your name, your popularity, and certain things like that. You'll also have people who will try to be nice to you so that they can get something out of you. You'll also have some people who may actually empathize with you. Like I said, I can kind of empathize with you, but don't look for me for any type of retort or anything like that online. Back you up. I'm just going to say everybody's got their problems. Learn to deal with it in the best way, and pray that your mother and your father see the error of their ways before they die.
Now, Keith Miller put something in the chat. Says, is he looking for sympathy or just trying to respond to the public PS that his parents are creating? I haven't worked at a PR firm and gotten specific training around that. That is not my forte. But are we talking about this if Brooklyn himself didn't do a very public response? I don't think so. So, Keith, I believe that it's more looking for sympathy and trying to get his side out. But at the same time, I would tell people if I'm the one that's leading a PR firm consult and Brooklyn calls me and he goes, King Smith Consulting, what should I do? I'm thinking about putting my side of the story out there. For this scenario, and I'm not trending on Google or anything like that, I'd say, brother, let it be. let it be. Don't respond. Get in your bubble, live your life, and you'll be fine.
And I got one quick question though. Does it surprise you that these millionaire celebrity parents are shit people and shit parents? Does it surprise you?
But I have some things to add to it, but I want to let you get yours off.
No, I'm good. I'm good. That's all I got,
Let me take this off of the screen here.
All right.
I think that in order to be great, certain things have to be sacrificed. And it is, to me, it's difficult for you to be the GOAT or one of the top 10% of people that have ever played an international sport without sacrificing something. And typically, it's family that gets sacrificed at the end of the day. I'm sorry, you can try to do your best, but in order to be great, you have to go through a level of discipline that I don't think that those that aren't you are going to understand, right? So yeah, he was likely raised by his nanny and things like that. And maybe when he was even home, who knows what kind of time he was spending with his kids. I know Tom Brady seems to have had a great relationship between him and his kids, but look where that ultimately led with him and his wife, right?
Yeah.
Fernando Mendoza, there's an old clip of him where he talked about how he didn't have a girlfriend because he saw a relationship as a roadblock to be the best and to eventually be a champion. And I'm kind of paraphrasing what he said on this interview on camera, but I was like, there you go, young man. You get it. If you want to be the best, there's certain things that you have to do and certain things that you have to sacrifice in order to be the best. I don't care what nobody says. You can't have it all.
Yeah.
So to your question of a lot of these celebrities and famous people sometimes being shitty parents or a lot of times being shitty people. Yeah, I think it comes with what it takes to be the best, man. And some people got it in them and some don't.
I got you. Yeah, I mean, look, Beckham has been putting out a lot of stuff and he's been making power moves, and with a lot of the things that he's been doing for his career and then setting up his future, look, you do have to realize that man is a brand before he is a player.
Mm-hmm.
And the same thing also goes with his wife. So it does take certain things to do that, and it does mess around with family. Family's going to have family problems. So yeah, either way on this, just how would I also put this? If this happened with the Jacksons, if this happened with the fucking Kardashians, if this happens with anything else, you know what it does to my fucking life? Nothing.
True.
It just means we're wasting 30 minutes of showtime. 10 minutes of showtime. Sorry. Right. You know what? In the end, I don't give a flying fuck.
Hey, well, moving on to another story about rich people problems that Coach and I don't get the chance to experience in our life. Tyreek Hill is trying to figure out a way to get his ex-wife out of his life for good. Now, he's the one that out here went and picked him wrong, 100%. Just recently at a hearing on January 7, 2026, a Florida judge sharply criticized his soon-to-be ex-wife Keita's spending habits. Tyreek had already voluntarily paid $714,000 since the split, including a $100,000 car allowance. And his soon-to-be ex-wife Keita reportedly took that money, added another $96,000 of her own, and bought a $196,000 Bentley, to which the judge is quoted in saying expensive was excessive and unnecessary. So while she was out here seeking $38,000 a month in temporary spousal support and over $325,000 in retroactive child support, the judge shut all that, awarding her $5,500 instead. Now, Tyreek Hill is still on the hook for about $20K a month for her luxury condo at the Porsche Tower in Florida, and an additional $3,500 child support for another kid. Now, Tyreek is making a claim that I found fascinating and interesting. Tyreek is claiming that she's using the meetups that they're having to try to reconcile, throw that cookie on them one more time, to then come back and try to be a little bit more nasty in the split afterwards, to which he's saying, I'm not falling for that. And he's asking the court to have his grandmother supervise the visits with his kid instead of his ex-wife during their supervised visits, so that his wife doesn't try to get in his ear and ask for more. So we'll end that on that. I don't think you're going to have any comments to add on rich people problems. Will you, Coach?
Don't stick your dick in crazy, ladies and gentlemen. And also, ladies, don't let crazy stick their dick into you.
Michael Carasquillo asks, is this live? Yes. Yes, it is. I see your comment, and hello. Thank you for tuning in. Keith Miller said, are these rich white people problems? I would call Tyreek Hill's rich black athletes problems.
Yeah, I was about to say, Jesus Christ, if that's the case, Tyreek Hill is white. Oh, wow. I must be black. Yay!
Now, moving over to baseball here. We said a little bit at the beginning, Kyle Tucker, otherwise known as King Tuck, is headed to Hollywood in a deal that has the rest of the league crying foul. Earlier today, the Los Angeles Dodgers formally announced the signing of Kyle Tucker to a 4-year, $240 million contract. Mm-hmm. Now, while the face value is $60 million a year, the adjusted true value is $57.1 million after factoring in $30 million in deferrals. This officially shatters the record for average annual value, topping Juan Soto's massive deal, from which we covered here at the Sports Bar. But Tucker isn't just getting paid, he's getting options as well, as the contract includes several opt-outs after the 2027 and the 2028 season. And if he continues his all-star trajectory, he could hit the open market again at 31 or 32 for an even bigger long-term payday. I would have developed myself over football, because at 5'7.5", almost 5'8", you've got to be stupid fast to make it in the NFL. Baseball skills, height matters, but you can translate yourself and be able to get longevity in baseball as well. But what I found also fascinating about this, that I wrote down in my notes, Kyle Tucker was offered a 10-year, $350 million deal with the Toronto Blue Jays, and he turned that down to take a higher annual salary and a shot at a three-peat with the defending national champions. Coach, what say you?
So, you're going to hear a lot about this Kyle Tucker contract in a lot of different manners. And here is the reason, and this is something I have not heard in nearly 30 years in me being a diehard baseball fan. I have not heard the words, this team needs to be stopped, more than I have heard that over the past week about the Los Angeles Dodgers. And I have heard them say that this next collective bargaining agreement, which goes into effect, or they're going to end up, All right, so you all know about this, the baseball strike. The reason for that is that they were going to be implementing a salary cap within Major League Baseball. Baseball still is the only professional sport without a salary cap, so it's a free market. This has been told that this contract is going to be the reason why we're going to have a nuclear winter, and there is going to be a salary cap in Major League Baseball. And that is going to end up having a winter in which there is going to be very, very little. There's going to be installments, because baseball is the last holdout out of the free market, and it's being controlled by these agents that are getting the most money out of it. But there's also a lot of money that is being made in baseball that the owners were pocketing. The Dodgers are doing themselves the right thing for this market. They have found the cheat code. They're going to pay this exorbitant number of fees, which will end up, costing them, I think, like $120 million in luxury tax payments. But that is going to be, half of the money that they're getting from the Japanese audience with Yamamoto and Shohei Ohtani being on the team. They've got the Japanese market. LA, they own this whole, their regional sports network is whom they own. The ownership is also making money hand over fist with their local deals that they have for the regional sports networks, their tickets, their ownership group, the deferment of payments. The deferment of payments are also underneath a pretext that we are going to continue to see this increase in revenue with the, and the increase as far as inflation of what these values are going to be, where $20 million deferred or $50 million deferred to Shohei Ohtani is going to be like the equivalent of $10 million in this way, or in this generation. But the last time I heard this was when they were talking about the New York Yankees and how the Yankees were spending more money to outspend everybody to win the World Series year after year in the late 90s. When in all reality, yes, they did spend money on free agents, but they weren't spending the most money on free agents. They were spending their money wisely. They were acquiring a lot of players with trades, and they were re-signing their talent that they wanted to keep on the team. They had the largest payrolls because of several bad decisions, but they did sign some good free agents. They also made a lot of great trades and developed the farm system where the core four stayed on that team. And then when it became the time that the Yankees did start spending a lot, that's also coinciding with the same time that their dynasty started going down. If you think about the last time that they won the World Series before 2009, that was in 2000. The next year they signed their first big, real big free agent from another team in Mike Mussina, the first time they had done that in 5 years since they signed Jimmy Key. And then they signed Jason Giambi, and then they end up signing Sheffield and getting A-Rod and doing all these stupid deals and becoming the Yankees, and ended up just having one World Series with them. Well, now the Dodgers are the apple cart. They're the ones who are building the dynasty. And Major League Baseball, above every single sport right now, loves the parity. They don't like the dynasties. They have tried to kill every dynasty ever since the Yankees dynasties of the 50s and 60s. Yes, it's going to be very difficult for Major League Baseball to come back from this one. We're going to have a nuclear winter in 2026. And I don't know how long the 2027 season is going to be. I wouldn't be surprised if we missed some games, but I would also be I would be very surprised if there is a salary floor, or if there's not a salary floor with all of the teams in Major League Baseball, and there is some type of soft, much better than what it is right now, and the collective as far as money will come out with a better sharing, but I think it would be some type of soft cap within Major League Baseball teams so that other teams can be competitive. because baseball wants parity. They do not want the dominant teams in the big markets. And LA has now taken 25 years to uncrack the code and do it.
Nice, man. I like that breakdown. That was that was real good. It's like you know what you're doing
I
over
kind
here.
of know.
All right. Taking a look and going over to Portal Combat. These transfer portal stories are insane. So we're officially, to me, I'm going to call this the billionaire era of the NCAA. And things are going to have to get reined in. Now, here are the rules. The NCAA has a window. You have from January 2 to January 16 to get your name into the transfer portal, or you're stuck where you're at. Unless you are playing in the national championship game, in which those players get a grace period. So for the people that were on Indiana or Miami, you have until this Saturday, January 24th, to get your name
Yeah,
in.
which is kind of funny. Did you
Now,
see that Mendoza's brother is now in the transfer portal?
with that, not only did he get there, he got picked up. He is officially transferring to Georgia Tech. It was announced yesterday.
Oh, I didn't see that. Nice.
Yep, it was announced yesterday. He is going to be playing for the Georgia Tech Yellow. 3 years remaining of the, I hate this word, eligibility to be able to play. And his departure was anticipated, whether his brother was going to win or not, because he wanted a chance to compete. And with TCU bringing in transfer quarterback Josh Hoover, it didn't look like his brother was going to have that path to be able to play. So by him transferring over to the down to Georgia Tech, he has the ability to compete and play fairly early, and also be able to get film for the next level. Georgia Tech is a quarterback-friendly system, as they run a modern spread offense that lets quarterbacks use their legs, which you didn't see Fernando do a lot of, but when he did, he excelled well at it. And he's going to be able to pad his stats. He might have better quarterback stats than his brother did when it's all said and done, just because of the system that. Also, look, the ACCs are smooth week to week than it is playing in the Big 10 or the Big 12. So he's going to have fewer elite defenses every Saturday that he's going to be playing. But I think it was ultimately for him to have an easier path to start, get game tape, and be able to make a name for himself outside of the team that his brother played on.
Yeah, and who knows? You know, he might win the he might win the ACC championship with Georgia Tech and still not be in the college football playoffs.
Now, some of the other news: there were 3,256 players that hit the transfer portal. Insane when you really think about. One of the other stories that are coming out of here is Duke's quarterback, Darian Mensah, who threw for nearly 4,000 yards and 34 touchdowns. Word on the street is that Miami is looking at packaging some things to replace Carson Beck. And in this reportedly $10 million package, they are looking to buy out his Duke revenue share contract, move his sister, who currently plays soccer at Oregon, to Miami, and give him a custom Adidas campaign that, when you add all of the numbers up, would make it a $10 million contract for a one-year quarterback. To me, that's not a scholarship. That's not college football. That's basically a corporate acquisition.
Oh, my God almighty. So I want to... Man, this NIL thing was supposed to be used so that college athletes didn't fall behind, you know, and like was able to actually afford everything. now it has become the bane of the existence of college football, and stuff like this is the epitome of what ended up happening. I am going to applaud all the college football teams that at least with the transfer portal, they solved the issue of so many players declaring for the transfer portal that the teams did not, couldn't field the team with players out there like, or like Colorado did, or a couple of the other teams, the team that played Army last year. I applaud that, but this NIL deal has gotten so damn out of hand, and it has become a free-for-all for some people that we're going to see this throw off a lot of things regarding the way professional sports is going to be played. Here's where I'm coming from. Okay. Those that are going to play in the NBA, the one and dones that we see within the NCAA football, or excuse me, in the NBA, we're going to see the one and dones. No matter what's going to happen, you're going to see the one and dones, because the 3 and D is going to be the key thing, and you can develop that skill early. All you really need is to be a stretch 4 for the rest of your life and have a decent outside shot. It's the way the NBA is playing. You're not going to get guys who are going to develop in college. So the national championship people, the guys like in Purdue or in UConn, you're going to end up having the older players there, the more experienced players. In football, we are going to see in professional football 27-year-old rookies. We are going to see the skill players. The skill players are not going to declare for the NFL draft because they are going to be taking pay cuts. I just read that Carson Beck got $6 million this year. Didn't show up one day to school because he's got this extra year of eligibility.
And he had already graduated.
Doesn't have to do anything. Getting $5 million a year to play against, in the ACC, and is also dating a porn star, Annabella Danger. Let me just bring that to you this way. His life sounds a hell of a lot better than Cam Ward's did as the number 1 pick, getting beaten up by Tennessee. And he got paid more in a tax-free state. So we're going to be seeing some quarterbacks that are going to affect the way that on the skill positions, where they're going to affect the way that the pros are going to be used. We may actually see shorter careers in the NFL compared to what we see right now, because this may keep more people in the college system than out of the NFL. Look at what happened with Shedeur Sanders. That's all I'm going to say with this. Look what happened with that. He took a pay cut, became a 5th-round pick, and he's not going to end up re-signing a contract anywhere near what he would have made with an extra year of Colorado for the next 4 seasons. Period. There's nobody that's going to sign him for the money that he would have made if he would have stayed in Colorado an extra year.
Mm-hmm.
So that is going to weigh on a lot of people, and what Carson Beck is happening, and what all of these deals are starting to come around with this Wild West, with this unregulation. It is going to throw off the program in the NFL. It won't throw off the program in baseball. Definitely won't throw that one off. It won't throw off the program as much in basketball, but it is going to do a number on the NFL. And I also want to bring something up that I just had that thought about what it's going to do with the NFL. Oh, fuck. All right. It was something, man. You go ahead and finish up. I'll get to it if I can remember what I was going to say.
All right. I do want to make an announcement before I forget, even though I didn't see it in our calendar, Plague. There is not going to be a smoke pit tonight, as Radar will be unable to go live tonight.
So, he put that in the ops channel.
Yeah, I saw it in the channel, but I like to go and take a look at our calendar as well, and I didn't see it in the calendar.
Oh,
but
and Plague said that he was going to do that too.
Yep.
He never did.
So Plague, you dick.
Man, we're diming him out on the show. Oh shit.
Show Liz, stay on top of your shit.
Hey, CQ, you paying attention?
I probably shouldn't do that. As Plague is going to find a way to bring it back on me. But shout out to everybody. Y'all don't know, there are several people behind the scenes at WTF Nation Radio that make this thing go. So to our entire team out there, the people that are doing the marketing, the people that are calling folks for interviews, the folks that set up our calendars, that get us on air talent, all of that stuff. Thank you.
Yep.
Thank you. I actually do want to give y'all a salute. And since y'all are my brothers and sisters in arms, I am still going to give y'all shit. So let's see. We got U.S. Army Memes is in the building with a salute. Want to give y'all some love as well. I appreciate you tuning in. Shout out to Austin Bunker. Said hello from the 225th Engineer Brigade, U.S. Army. Let's go. I appreciate you tuning in as well. AB, shout out to you. Now, we got, let me see, 2 more things here. Coach, did you figure out what it was before I?
No, did not. It was, yeah.
All right, going, and gone. So next up here, Alex Ovechkin, as Coach would say, Coach called him the greatest
goal scorer in hockey history, yes,
of all time, not necessarily the greatest player.
Yes.
All right, so Ovi ended up hitting a milestone as he crossed the 7,000 career shots on net just 2 days ago. So hey, look, his run is flat out hysteric. As of tonight, he's sitting at 917 regular season goals. He broke Wayne Gretzky's what was considered unbreakable record last year in April of 894. But he didn't just break the record. He's leaving it, right? And he became the first human to hit the 900 goal milestone when he lit the lamp against the Blues. Now, at 40 years old, and he just locked in his 21st consecutive 20-goal season, which only one player has ever done that. Do you know who that player was?
Gordie Howe.
Bingo.
You didn't think I knew that one, did you?
No, I did, which is why I set it up, and I knew you would hit it out the park. I wasn't trying to get you on the got you. I actually
that's all right.
Figured that you knew who it was.
Yeah.
You know, he's played through lockouts, a global pandemic, and everything, and he has he has made the mark throughout that 20-goal season. So tonight, when the Caps take on Vancouver here shortly, think about this number. 994. That is his total combined goal count, regular season and playoffs.
Okay.
He is 6 goals away from 1,000 career professional goals. Wayne Gretzky retired with 1,016. Ovechkin is now hunting that total pro record now.
Oh, okay. I want to bring something up regarding these things because I just saw that this combined stat with with playoff numbers and all-time stuff. So okay, I am glad that somebody that look, I told you Ovechkin is still one of the greatest goal scorers of all time. And I said that as he is the greatest, and he proved that because he did that in one less game. He broke his record in one less game, in Gretzky's record in one less game. Now, keeping it going, great. I'm glad he's doing that. Here's my thing, though. Now, the 7,000 shots on goal thing, that's a pretty impressive stat. But the combined playoffs and what's it called? The playoff and regular season total numbers. Man, that I believe is just to add additional recognition to players, just to give an additional superlative. And I saw that last year when LeBron James went over 50,000 career points in the regular season and the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
That was the first time I have ever heard that stat happening. And now it's happening again with OV. And I get it. You're trying to get superlatives on top of somebody towards the end of the career. I'm going to tell you to fucking stop right now. Every fucking person. Let me explain something to you, okay? I'm going to flip the script on damn near every motherfucker on the face of the earth, because I'm going to say this right now. Does anybody know who the all-time leading scorer is? And I'm talking about points per game in NBA history during the fucking playoffs.
It's got to be MJ.
Michael Jeffrey Jordan. Do you know that he averaged a full 2 points per game more in the fucking playoffs than he did in the regular season? Now, if we were to add all of his points together from the playoffs and to the regular season, he now has a scoring average of like 30.9 to 31 points per game. And then on top of that, he goes up on the list of the all-time point scorers. Derek Sanderson fucking Jeter played 162 games in the postseason and had a higher batting average in the postseason than he did. No, I take that back. He had 100 games in the postseason and he had 162 hits. The dude had a higher batting average in the postseason than he did in the regular season. If we were to add his hits, he would go up into like third place all time in the Major League Baseball hit category, or fourth place all time, something like that. Mariano Rivera there have been more people who have walked on the moon than who have scored on Mariano Rivera in the playoffs. That is a true fact. And he has pitched the most innings in playoff history. The man is the greatest reliever of all time. At that point, if you add in to everything he did into the postseason, there is no doubt he becomes into another stratosphere. And look, I get that. We can add as many combined things as we have with regular season and playoffs. I want to ask, why do we stop there? Why don't I include MJ's time in 1992 playing for the Olympics, or the past 6 years that KD has been scoring, or LeBron's been playing for the Olympics? Why don't we add all of their stuff into that too? All right. Sorry. Look, you simplify it. You have regular season, you have postseason. Look, postseason, you're supposed to play better in the postseason, and the all-time greats do play better in the postseason. And look, Ovechkin's got his record in the postseason. Is it better than Gretzky's? No. Does he have more assists than Gretzky? No. Does he have more goals than Gretzky? Yes, he does. So he's still the greatest goal scorer of all time. He still isn't the greatest hockey player, and stop making up fucking superlative. We know how fucking good he is, all right? Let's just enjoy it.
You want to go ahead and count preseason stats too, Coach?
If that was the case, and I kid you not, I've got two fucking fun facts for you. The 0-16 Cleveland Browns or Detroit Lions, the 0-16 Cleveland Browns were 4-0 in the postseason. And the 16-0 Patriots of 2007-2008 were 0-4 in the preseason. Yeah, let's count those, and if we start counting preseason and all of those, certain narratives, become moot. See where I'm coming from?
Yeah, I agree. Now, to bring real back to Ovechkin, the Capitals are currently struggling. They're sitting just outside of a playoff spot, and the rumor mill is spinning as Ovechkin is in the final year of his contract. Their GM, Chris Patrick, when asked about the future last week, basically came out and said, we ain't talking about next year. We're talking about getting this man into the playoffs one more time. There are whispers about Ovechkin finishing his career back home with the Dynamo Moscow. But from me to you, I think as long as he can still spin that puck and fire that bitch off at 100 miles per hour, there's still a spot for him in the NHL as the man's a champion. I got downstairs 2 boxes of Ovi Flakes. One box that, and they're basically like Wheaties. One box I said that I was going to use to eat, and another one that I was just going to keep. I'm going to hold on to it. They were a limited edition sign that you could only find through, I think it was a partnership with Giant in this region.
Mhm.
People were paying people to get it shipped to them in other places. And I did a nicety. I got a buddy of mine, shout out to the Shonifer family, that are huge Alex Ovechkin fans. Not Cap fans, they're Ovi fans. And actually, no, I think I might have said that wrong. I think they are Cap fans, but by extension, Ovi fans as well.
Well, they gotta be, yeah.
And I ended up buying him and his family and shipping it on my own dime, several boxes for them so that they could have that collector's item as well. And I'm going to tell y'all here very publicly, if anybody wants my unopened box, money talks.
I don't even want to know how old are these boxes again?
They were released around October or November of last year.
I don't know. They might still be all right. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, it was a very recent release. The box that I do have open, I haven't finished. Like, they're still good. I just don't eat cereal like that.
I got you.
Yeah. So if anybody wants my unopened box, shoot me an email at king@wtfnationradio.com and maybe we'll drive up a bidding war. So matter of fact, let me go and look. Let me see how much a box of Ovi Flakes costs. What's the price of Ovi Flakes on eBay? Right now, there are several listings priced around $15 to $19. If you are able to, some are $25 to $39.95. And there was one lucky bastard out there that was able to get in line. So while the boxes themselves are like signed on the box, some people also got like actual additional signatures from Ovi as he passed them out while he was at Giant down near DC.
Nice.
So I thought that that was dope. If you are able to get them bundled up, you could buy OVOs for about $42.50 on eBay, and I think it was $3.99 at the store for.
Not bad. That's a $500 or 500% return on investment.
Yep. So again, I mean, I might be talking more $500 a box. But if you want them that bad, I'll deliver them to you. Matter of fact, pay me enough, I'll drive them to you. I don't care if you're on the West Coast.
Yeah.
Again, money talks.
Super Eats, King Eats.
I would personally deliver them bad boys to you so you don't have to worry about it getting mishandled through shipping.
Yeah.
So here's our last story, and we're going to close out with this one. I am actually somebody that loves MMA. Now, I don't know a lot of fighters and things like that, but there are several people that stand out. One of those people I'm aware of is Suga Sean O'Malley. Now, he's looking at trying to have a redemption here, still being the ignorant bad boy that he is. But this Saturday at UFC 324, he's back fighting against, and I'm not even going to pretend like I know how to say this dude's name, Song Yadong. I want to say that one time just because I think it's funny. Song Yadong, Yadong. Let me show you Yadong. That was horrible. This is the first ever UFC card that is going to be on Paramount Plus. And I think that Dana White knew what he was doing by featuring Mr. O'Malley and having this be the fight card that debuts the UFC card on the Paramount Plus partnership. So Sean's already said that he's talking about the exit door. So while he's been on a skid on his own podcast, he said that 2026 is going to be his final year in the sport. I believe he wants to not only get a payday, but he wants to take care of business here this weekend. And I would put my money on him winning, as I don't think he wants to. That's my personal thoughts and how I think this fight card is going to play out. If you follow UFC, Coach, what comments do you have?
I do not follow UFC, so when you brought up Sean O'Malley, I'm sitting there like you said, Sugar Sean. I'm like, wait a minute, hold on, didn't you mean to say Sugar Shane Mosley? That's how first old school I am on that one. But no, I know who this guy is. I have seen him. I haven't followed UFC in quite a while. I'm not going to lie to you about that. So as far as what this guy's been doing and what he's been, I'm reading out certain things on his Wikipedia page about what he does and his certain things, and then I'm also reading up about Yadong. And Yadong, just so you know, Yadong has got a 22 8-1 record. So I mean, he is a veteran with one disqualification, one loss by disqualification, 5 decisions he lost by. So yeah, and then like I said, he's got one no contest. But this Yadong guy, he best thing I could say is that this guy he's either set up right there just for a good payday, and this is his final fight, or this might actually just be the end of the embarrassment for Sean O'Malley. I mean, it was a back-to-back. Marie Deshlevy, I guess, is the guy that he freaking lost to. I've got no idea who the hell this guy is. I could see that it did go at least to a decision and then a submission in those 2 rounds. But, hey, you got me for that one. I just hope that, your dong doesn't grab his dong, and then you got a dong fest inside the octagon.
Mike Larson said, I love hearing Coach talking about dongs.
Yes. Yeah.
Now, to keep this in UFC, my producer just sent me this. UFC is talking about an historic mixed martial arts event at the White House, June 14 of this year, which coincides with President Trump's 80th birthday. That's looking at featuring championship fights and top stars like John Jones and Conor McGregor. Planning for this has been accelerated and sped up. This fight is also expected to be on Paramount Plus, with some of the potential prelims being featured on CBS. I think it is going to be interesting if this occurs. It might be one of the most watched ever events just because of where it's being located at. And I find it interesting what our nation is doing by having certain events at certain places, like the White House, man. What do you think about that? UFC Fight Night at the White House 2026.
We've already seen 3 versions of the circus over the past 20 years. I mean, is it too far to just say that, a UFC fight wouldn't be the strangest fucking thing that's happened to the White House over the past, 20 fucking years?
Nope.
We've had we've had a bozo in the office from 2009 to 2017. We had the jackass brigade. The jackasses paraded around the circus from 2017 to 2021, and is currently back into the office. That we're part of the Jackass show. And then we had the fucking clowns from 2021 to 2025. So we're already in a 3-ring fucking circus right now. We might as well just go ahead and add some more people. Add the strongmen to it too. Let's have a fucking lumberjack competition on the white lawn. All right, or on the green lawn, the great lawn. All right, and I'm not saying anything bad because there's certain organizations that host bicycle events that start off at the Great Lawn. Don't know what those ones are. There's certain great people that it's kind of a nice thing. But I will say, using some of these things for, I don't know. Okay, so and I know it's missing out from this, and I know from anybody who watched last week to this week, I added a video of me recording them playing the national anthem with a candle on the Washington Monument for the 250th. I added that onto the last week for the video, and seeing something kind of cool like that with that backdrop. I mean, it feels kind of cool. It looks kind of great, but it also kind of reminds me of state-run propaganda that we accuse Korea of doing a little bit too much of. There's a lot of things about being national that I am awesome at. I absolutely love my United States, but man, there's some times where this is like it feels a little state-run propaganda to me. State-run propaganda is something that, the communists know a lot about of.
Yeah. All right. Well, to our 121 people that are catching us live tonight, I want to say thank y'all. To the people that commented, want to give y'all a big salute and thanks as well. To Richard, brother, again. Jeez Louise. My bad, man. All I can do is laugh. It is what it is. Want to thank y'all for tuning in to the Sports Bar here at WTF Nation Radio /US Army WTF Moments.
Hey, King, I do want to recognize one thing, okay?
You have the floor.
Yes, so we'll catch this one up at the end, and I'm glad that I'm bringing this up before we sign off. But a real big shout out and a thank you to every single one of you guys on Facebook that have liked and followed the Sports Bar on WTF Nation Radio, our page. We recently just passed 1,000 followers on that Facebook page. So I want to thank you all so much for, passing that little milestone. Let's try to get to 2,000 by the time that, fuck it. Let's try to get to another 1,000 in a month. But that's kind of nice that we just got over 1,000 followers on this page, and love it. Getting all the great views out here. I appreciate everybody that has been here from the creation of this page and the start of this show. And thank you all so much for following us and liking us on Facebook. Check us out on YouTube. Also check out U.S. Army WTF Moments and WTF Nation Radio across Facebook, YouTube, X, Twitch. Daggone, we don't have the Twitch page anymore. We used to have a Kick page. We had another Twitch page. We're going to be having so many places, other pages out there. But thank you all so much for following all of us across our social media platforms.
Let me add this too. In the description box is a link to our Discord community. Come on over there and join us on our Discord. I am going to take the NFC Championship game because I think that that's a little bit more exciting this upcoming Sunday. And I am going to attempt to do a watch party live on our Discord channel. So if you don't have cable, that's a good way to watch the game.
Yeah.
So join our Discord community. The link to join is in the description box on YouTube and Facebook. You won't be able to see it on Twitter like that. And if you're not sure what Discord is, then join and find out. All right. That is all we have. There is not going to be a smoke pit tonight as Radar couldn't figure out how to turn his computer on. So the next regularly scheduled programming is going to be I always want to call it the Thursday edition. Sergeant's time. Sergeant's time with our main man, Ice. And I think Spanky is not going to be on joining him. So I don't know who his co-host is going to be if he has one. From myself to y'all, I'm King. That's Coach. And we're out. Peace.